If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview.
He finally realized, okay, I got to say something. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to marry her.
When you met Steve, he was already married. And you walk in late to his show. Late. You walked in late for a reason. For the attention, huh? Not even knowing you, he said, I'm gonna marry you. Girl, who you don't call? Oshun, Ugly Fred Eye?
Steve Harvey decided to throw some old recycled shade at Katt Williams again. But this time, Katt fired back hard and dragged Steve's wife Marjorie right into it. A lot of what Katt said actually makes sense. He claims Marjorie is the real one in control. She's pulling the strings in their marriage, keeping Steve in check, and teaching her daughter Lori how to use relationships with successful men to keep up that luxury lifestyle. According to Katt, Steve keeps talking about him because Marjorie is still bitter and told him to respond.
If I had a chance to talk to Katt about anything, I would just ask him what's wrong. Just what's wrong.
It's been over 2 years since Katt Williams' viral Club Shay Shay interview, yet Steve Harvey is still bringing it up. When that interview first blew up, Steve got so angry, he publicly threatened to shoot the perm out of Katt's head.
Katt and said he'd shoot his perm straight out of his head.
Hey, don't get off the wall to dress some pity idiot boy who ain't got going for himself. Now you done stopped your climb up on the wall so you can come down here and talk to his little punk. Don't do that, man. I stay away from it. Now, do I want to? Yes. Because I'm a human being and I'm hood. I used to be a fighter, and I still got hands. They slow, but if you get up on it real slow, I can still knock your one. I just don't have the quickness I have, but I still know how to turn my hip and away, and I knock your shot out. I shoot your perm straight out.
Katt clearly hit a nerve. But here we are, 2 years later, and Steve is still upset. On a recent Pivot podcast appearance, Steve called Katt bitter and jealous of his success.
The social media fodder was upset with you for the way you finally responded to him. Mm-hmm. They said they felt like what he said about you was true because of the nature of your reaction.
Oh, well, see, first of all, I ain't really good at social media, so I didn't even know that was out there. But they can, like, really kiss most of the corners of my ass. Just because a person sits on the show and don't hesitate or say or and speaks eloquently, that don't mean it's true. That just don't mean it's true, man. Because we not in the same league, dog. We shooting at two different baskets. I shouldn't even have said nothing. I think that's kind of like hate and jealousy. And hate and jealousy is a form of grief. You're grieving because obviously all them people you talking about have something you either want or are something that you ain't. And you're grieving, and the funeral becomes the podcast. So now let me roast.
But if Katt is just jealous, why is Steve still so triggered? Threatening someone like that doesn't sound like confidence. It sounds insecure. Insiders say it was actually Marjorie who pushed Steve to respond publicly and make those threats. She was upset about what Katt revealed regarding an alleged industry contract that some comedians supposedly sign, one that includes marrying a certain type of wife.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and that she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose.
Katt also called out how Steve left his first wife for Marjorie, then tried to act like Marjorie was the loyal one who was there from the beginning.
Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history.
These days, Marjorie loves showing off her glamorous life on social media, private jets, designer bags, and hanging out with A-listers. But before Steve, she wasn't living that life at all. She first met Steve at a comedy club in Memphis. He called it love at first sight. They dated for a short time, but she left when his money wasn't good yet.
He was here, so he's just quiet. He just keeps staring at me, so I'm waiting on him to make me a part of the show so we can get on with the show. So he stayed quiet so long, staring at me. Now everybody in the club is looking at me. And so he finally realized, okay, I got to say something. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to marry her.
They reconnected in 2005 after Steve's sitcom became a hit. The timing was messy, though. Steve was still married to his second wife, Mary Shackelford. Mary later said Steve was cheating on her with Marjorie during the entire divorce.
When I think about how quickly he moved forward from me to Marjorie, that was disturbing.
It got even worse. Mary claimed Steve took their son, turned him against her, fought dirty in court, and left her with nothing.
He took my Winton. Took my Winton from me. He turned my son against me. Had me evicted from our house. Thrown out. All the businesses, all the money, the cars. At a moment when I was down and devastated, he maneuvered everything. He manipulated the courts, everything against me.
Insiders say Marjorie was the one behind most of it. She allegedly planned the whole thing, convinced Steve to cut off his ex-wife completely, and told him to paint Mary as crazy and bitter in the media. Steve went along with it.
The part that's hurtful in here is my wife and children have to be drugged into this. If you're going to be vindictive, then go ahead and just aim it at me. But my son is coming in the room crying. And that's also her son. So why you would do this?
Marjorie has quite a history before Steve. She was married twice before. Her first husband was a major drug figure named Jim Townsend. Reports say she was deeply involved in his business. The FBI and DEA reportedly had evidence against her too. Jim cooperated with authorities, got a life sentence, served 26 years, and was later pardoned by Obama. Marjorie walked away with no charges, divorced him, and moved on quickly. She then dated his cousin Darnell Woods, Lori's biological father, who was also in that world. He recently got out of prison. The timelines around Steve and Marjorie's relationship are confusing and suggest they were both involved with other people at the same time. Steve and Marjorie married in 2007. He adopted her kids, and they've spent years promoting their perfect blended family. But sources say Marjorie runs the house, focuses heavily on pushing Lori toward rich, famous men, and isn't as involved with her other children. There are even claims she played a big role in Lori's split from Michael B. Jordan by rejecting a prenup. Katt Williams wasn't just throwing shade. He was exposing what he sees as the truth. He believes Marjorie is a calculated woman who has built her life by using timing, positioning, and powerful men. And he made it clear Steve isn't the one calling the shots. He's just the puppet. What do you think? Is Steve really in charge? Or is Marjorie running everything? And what's your take on Katt's comments about that supposed contract with a light-skinned wife? Drop your thoughts below.